LoL Superheroes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to this second installment of LoL Superheroes. The show where we pit two summoners against one another to prove who deserves the title of LoL Superhero. Today we have Ryze versus Jarvin, as Thr330h5 goes toe-to-toe against King of Fangs. This looks to be a very interesting match. It is Mage versus tanky AD Bruiser tank. So it will be a matter of a serious outplaying. Ryze does have range advantage. However, Jarvin does have poking advantage with his Q. He can get in and out of there in conjunction with his E, Q and R. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he can be outranged, because Jarvin does have the mechanics to get in range when necessary.
Minions have spawned.
So if we have a quick look at their items here, Jarvin starting off with two long swords, boots, and a wad of pots, possibly aiming to get a brutalizer as soon as possible. Well, Ryze starts off with a blasting wand and a pair of boots for that early AP bonus. Keep in mind that Ryze can also be built as a mana mage, who's one of the few guys that can pull off mana mage very well, because he gets ability power boosts by just pumping mana. So it might be something useful to go into with Ryze later on in the match, but we will soon find out, as Ryze gets some very nice initial damage with his snare and his red ball of doom, as I like to call it. The lovely red ball of doom from Papa Smurf. Now it is going to be a matter here early on as to who can get a wad more of minion domination, because the minions will add up to monies, and the monies overall will give you an advantage after you die when it comes to buying those precious items. Now look at that poke damage, doing quite a good amount of damage there on Ryze with a poke, because bear in mind that Jarvin's Q does also cause armor penetration on top of the damage, so it does do more to guys that have a little bit of tankiness against AD, or in Ryze's case, little to no defense at all. Just look at Ryze constantly being poked down there. It's something that Thr330h5 does have to put into consideration as he fights King of Fangs. King of Fangs there throwing out a quick taunt just to maybe pressure Ryze into doing something he doesn't want to do. The early game here is going to be a little bit tough. Ryze is now out of pots, however, so now it is a matter of Ryze relying on his mana and health regen sustain, whilst Jarvin literally has all the health in the world and has captured another health rune, which is the one of the closest health runes for Ryze can grab. So it is a matter as to whether Ryze can sustain long enough for another rune to come up, or whether he even has the ability power to capitalize and take Jarvin down, which might just be a really tough challenge to complete, especially at this moment in time. Ryze just needs the very perfect moment in time to just throw in a snare, throw in his combination of abilities, pop his ultis to make sure that his abilities do have increased damage output. So it is all to play for early on. The first blood could decide the match, as we did see in the first installment where it was Orianna versus Zyra. There you go, Ryze there going back to pick up a health rune. Much appreciated, bringing him back up to health. Now that he's level 6, Jarvin throwing in his EQ combination. Ryze popping the flash to get behind the flag, so that he is not out of position in comparison to where that Jarvin was. Very nicely timed flash there. I can understand why he popped it. There's Jarvin going in for it and scoring the first blood. The armor pen is just too much for Ryze. The first blood has been scored, 3.1k to 2.5, 27 minions to 10. Ryze is gonna have to think of a way out for this one. Now Ryze has just bought himself a Catalyst for Protector, so that will give him some very nice sustain when he's leveling up in the near future, possibly going for a Rod of Ages, which is very useful on champions such as Ryze. There's Jarvin there, maybe being a little bit too cheeky, as he still procs that Q. That Q doing a lovely amount of damage with the armor penetration. So this is still very tough. Now that Jarvin does have first blood, he does have the kill advantage. However, he will use on the item advantage. Since Ryze has died, he has had the ability to buy that Catalyst for Protector, which might just be enough sustain to defend himself from Jarvin, that's now going in for the attack. He's not going to give up anytime soon. He's just going to keep wailing on that Ryze. An item I might suggest for Ryze at this moment in time could be Frozen Heart, due to the mana and the armor that it also gives, also crippling attack speed of those who dare attack you. It'll be very beneficial to build that against Jarvin, since it will counteract Jarvin's AD output, especially early on, and especially in this game where Jarvin is going to go mostly AD rather than the tanky bruiser builds that we might normally see Jarvin go. Then just look at that, he just takes another health rune as Ryze goes in again for another snare, another bit of damage, but it's not going to do that much. Ryze just needs to be careful, he needs to pick his moment, he needs to know when to proc his ultimate so that he can capitalize on the maximum amount of damage possible. He needs to make sure that he can pop his ulti, get a good snare, pop his E so that the enemy's magic resist will fall for each bounce that does ricochet off of them. Then hit them with the Q for a big wad of damage. Now Jarvin's going to go in there, all very nicely done, taking the health rune, there's the Cataclysm, and there you go. Second kill onto Ryze. King of Fangs looking like the true King of Demacia here, as he just rips Ryze apart. Now he's just going to use his flag here to give him additional attack speed as he starts wailing on that turret, going to get the early tower advantage, as he now has 4.7 gold over 3.4. Now is Jarvin going to do what I think he's going to do? Yes, he is. He's going to try dying to the turret, but is Ryze going to come in to stop him? Yes, he is. Ryze does now have Rod of Ages, so Jarvin does have to be a bit careful. He is low on health, but he is just going to casually run away, leaving Ryze to get some lovely, lovely farm. Ryze is behind on farm quite a bit now. Jarvin with 57, Ryze with 18. Ryze needs to get his head in the game right now. Ultimate, E. Like, where are his other abilities? He doesn't even have a point in his E yet. Concentrating in his Q and his W, which I can perfectly understand why. The crowd control and damage output are there. But the E just increases the damage output in all of your abilities as long as you can ricochet it off enough. I don't know why you wouldn't get a point on it, because it is very useful to get, in all honesty. And to be quite honest there, Ryze probably could have killed Jarvin. Probably could have gone in there. He would have had to waste a flash to get in there to finish him off, but he could have done it with some great ease. Now Ryze does have a point in his ultimate now, which might just be a bit too late. I haven't seen him proc it once yet. There you go, he has one skill point in his E. Need to be very careful, because there's his ultimate proc, a wad of damage going straight onto Jarvin, but it's not nearly going to be enough to finish him off. But it does get him down to half health, as Jarvin picks up another health rune. Ryze now picking his moment, his ultimate is on cooldown now. Jarvin coming in, here we go. Ryze has got to be careful, there's the flash, there's the Cataclysm. Ryze, can he turn this round? Jarvin is getting hit, turret kills it. Ryze does manage to shut down the Jarvin. 3 kills to 1, 5.7 to 4.3. Ryze can still bring this puppy home. But now he needs to be very careful. Although he was able to capitalize on the kill there, Jarvin does still have a very big advantage because he stayed in the game longer than Ryze did. He was able to stockpile a lot more money, and just look at the advantage that he now has with a Phage, a Brutalizer, a Sheen, a Mercury Treads to also counteract with the crowd control with a Tenacity, and a Gauntlet there for some critical strike, potentially going for Yumu's Ghostblade, which will be a fine item on Jarvin indeed. The Ryze here is getting another blasting wand as we see some more damage being dealt. Jarvin going straight in there. Look at the damage that he is now doing. That armor pen is just ripping Ryze apart as you just see Jarvin have another flawless kill. Now Ryze is heavily suffering. He does not have a movement speed to just go in there against Jarvin with that much health. He does not even have a movement speed to really finish off a target if he is running away. If anything, Ryze just needs to get that movement speed up by any means necessary, even if going for Lich Bane. And as well as that, he also has to look into getting other items to counteract Jarvin's really strong armor penetration presence. Maybe looking for items such as I said earlier, with a Frozen Heart or at least Glacial Shroud, because that will help him out substantially, both in the defense-wise and the power-wise, as Jarvin's going back again with only half health. But look at the penetration rolling, Ryze just giving the kills away. At this point, it is 5-1, 7.2 to 5, 85 to 24 on the minion kills. Jarvin might just have this in the bag as he puts down his flag and has pretty much secured an inhibitor for Demacia. I just think Ryze, to be completely honest with you, in this match is just being completely outplayed at this point. Early on, it was literally a matter of who can get the kill first. OMG, Jarvin might just be punished, but he's not going to die unless Ryze can flash in, but flash is on cooldown. Ryze has to rely on his movement speed alone. Jarvin's going to get another health rune. What's he going to do? Oh, he might just be kiting there to try and get a sneaky kill off Ryze. But he's not going to go for it. See, Ryze early on could have just ripped Jarvin. He had a perfect chance. If he tried counter building the first time he died, he might just be in the right mindset now to just rip Jarvin a new one. But instead, Ryze is just not concentrating that much. I don't think he's using his skills in the right synergy as I would expect him to. Because you would start with your ulti, you would go ulti, snare, E, Q, and just keep rinsing, repeating your abilities as best you can. Ryze and Jarvin going at it. There's the Cataclysm. Is Jarvin going to go down? No, he is not. That shield is going to keep him alive. Jarvin with another kill on Ryze. 6 to 1. In this 1v1 matchup here on LoL Superheroes. Now Jarvin he's going to get a little bit of sustain, but he is going to kill himself to the turret so that he can buy some lovely items. Now going for the Trinity Force. Very nicely done, and Hex Drinker. Ooh. See, I completely understand where Jarvin is coming from with his build against Ryze. Ryze's build is just completely concentrated on ability power and not concentrating on any mana armor items, like I was saying earlier with Glacial Shroud and or Frozen Heart. Whilst Jarvin is doing very well here, Mercury Treads countering Ryze's crowd control, as well as a bit of the ability power that he is going against, as well as that now getting Hex Drinker, meaning that he now has a mana shield after going down a certain plethora of damage after receiving so much magic damage. And now that he does have Trinity Force and Brutalizer, he's going to do so much damage. If he can just proc that Sheen on you after hitting his Q with all that armor pen, it's going to hurt, and I literally don't think Ryze will be able to stand anymore. As we now see Ryze popping off his abilities there to try and get a little bit of power off. See, even Jarvin's flag is doing a lot to Ryze, as Ryze is just staying underneath his turret. One of the turrets might just go down. Yes, it is. As Jarvin is now running around, kiting Ryze, and Ryze dies to the Cataclysm, leaving Jarvin to capture this turret and potentially end the game for Demacian Glory. King of Fangs is potentially going to win against Thr330h5 unless Thr330h5 can come back in the 15 seconds, which I heavily doubt. The minions aren't going to help, as we have plenty of minions on King of Fangs' side. The Nexus will go down. That's the end of the matchup. King of Fangs wins against Thr330h5. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the second installment of LoL Superheroes. Well done to King of Fangs. You have successfully beaten Thr330h5 in a great match with Jarvin versus Ryze. Ryze could have really played better in that match, in all honesty, but Jarvin, well done. Just well done. Until next time, guys, if you are interested in taking part in LoL Superheroes, the details you need are in the description below. Hook me up in League of Legends on YouTube or on the Teamspeak server, where the server address is in the description if you are interested in taking part in LoL Superheroes. I will be joined in commentary in the near future, so if you do even want to join me in a commentary position as well, let me know. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching LoL Superheroes. And until next time, goodbye, fellow summoners, goodbye. And I'll be seeing you guys on the fields of justice.
Somebody call the cops, 'cause we're gonna wrap it up. Say wrap it